This is my bird disc. So I thought it might be interesting to show you how you could create nature sounds using a synthesizer. And for birds, I chose to use the Synclavier because I thought FM synthesis was the way to go. And so I made this sort of little aviary soundscape sometime back in the, probably the late 80s, I guess. So, and there's a few insects and froggy kind of guys in there. So, as I've mentioned before in videos, the Synclavier has the ability to create FM synthesis, resynthesis, sampling, and it also has a sequencer in it. So I'm just using FM synthesis and I'm just using the sequencer, those two things. And by playing the keyboard, I can sort of perform these sounds. So let's just pick a bird sound. I'm playing you the sound that's on track 1 of the sequencer. So just how you play it, it's just one sound. It makes the bird express different ways. Now, how's that sound created? Okay, so let me go to the partials and tell you what's going on. So it's just, okay, it's two partials. So the first partial does this, and the second partial does this, but on a delay. So if I play really quickly on this partial, nothing happens. But if I hold it, see there's a delay? So it enables me to do something expressive with a keyboard that doesn't even have velocity or pressure. I can play short notes and only get this sound, and if I hold it longer, the second sound will come in. Just that part that goes up. So it goes. And then depending on how I perform it, you can be expressive with that bird. How's that bird made? Well, the first guy is just a little bit of FM. Here's without any FM. It's just a sine wave. Yeah, it's just one sine wave and a little bit of envelope affecting the pitch. And then this one is on delay, and you notice the pitch just goes up. Here's without FM. So a little bit of FM at a very low octave ratio. So it's like maybe 4 octaves or 8 octaves below the initial frequency. So it just gives you a little bit of, here's a lot of it, a little bit of like glottic scrape in the bird's, you know, tonsils or something. Here's another bird sound. So you got to think like a bird too, that helps. 2 parts to this sound. Part that goes up and the part that doesn't. Play them together. And then the part that goes up happens first, and the part that doesn't happens on a delay. So they kind of go, but you hear that? So it's not me just going like that, a high note and a low note. It happens on each note. So I can perform it again. So by it's basically like a multi-timbral sound, right? Where you have one sound and another sound, but you put the second sound on a delay. So when you perform it, you can only hear the first sound, or you can hear both sounds happen. And you still have all your pitches available to you. There you go. Please like and subscribe. We're making these videos so that you can learn to make any sound that's in your head. It will really help us keep this team together and make more videos. Push that button. Thank you. Let me try to find one more. Bird 4. This guy really swoops up. And they're all just a little bit of FM. It's a sine wave with a little bit of FM and a pitch swoop to it. Here's another one. Kind of an insecty guy. Or a frog. Very pure, owly. got to get it right. If you don't play it like a bird, it doesn't really work. Bird 8. Kind of insecty, especially up here. I like those. I could never do that with analog synthesis because I can't get it transparent enough. There's always going to be too much fundamental. With FM synthesis, you can sort of clear out all the lows and all the highs and just get the sidebands that are in the middle. And then when you play up high, it just gets a really thin and transparent kind of sound. So it looks like I have about 8 tracks of birds here. So here's my little sequence of birds. So think about using FM synthesis when you're making sounds in nature, because I think it really lends itself quite well. And the simpler the better, really. A little bit of FM at some very odd FM ratios goes a long way to make it just not be like a pitched bird, but just gives it a little bit of scrapiness. And then pitch swoops and multi-timbral sounds so that you can perform it maybe on a delay, maybe so you like a little more complexity, 2 things happening at once, and that's about it. And it works quite well for bird ambiances. But I like bird sounds. I wanted to bring that to you. Hope you can apply that to what you do. You can do it on any synthesizer, and analog synthesizer is just fine. Just make one bird, give it a try, and then see if you can turn that into something else, and maybe you'll find a use for it in your sound design applications. See you soon in upcoming videos, and we'll get back to music there too.